Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right out here in the patio on vacation in Florida, doing what I do for you. Oh, I got a nice lesson. This is Psycho Spiritual Center number 2. A good lesson. Let's rock. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune into receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, then you have a goal to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I'm going to ask the question. Do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's the goal. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You can teach them. That's what I do. Why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my yacht be true. Now we're going to deal with Soul of Ra number 2. The second energy center, conscious center. Okay? It's going to tell you the location, the Indian symbol, the element of the earth element, they call it, and the predominant psychoactivity, meaning the thought process of this level of consciousness. And I'm going to break down your desires, your possible psychic dysfunctions. Some people don't want to hear that, but again, I tell the truth, I don't care who it's about. And then I'm going to date the Indian animal symbol for this center and the way to awaken the energy centers of this center. There's a whole lot of information here. So get prepared, get comfortable, let's go. The location of this chakra, number 2, the energy center, is located in the area of the origins of your procreation. Male and female genital area. How about that? Jeez. All right. Being politically correct sometimes a little awkward. But the Indian symbol, remember we're dealing with the Indian and the Egyptian concepts of the chakras. The chakras from the Indian, this is the Indian aspect, they took it to a whole nother level. You'll see. The Indian symbol of this center consists of the moon. And this referred to the tides of the life and the cycles of reproductive system, sexual desires, and of your activity and the rest which are inherent in all nature. The most potent drive is the sexual drive. I understand that. It's nature. It's fine. But that's why the goal is to learn how to control it. That's the control of oneself, the self-mastery you have to have over that. And remember the moon cycle, 28 days. The female menstrual cycle, 28 days. But nobody talks about the male purification cycle, which is if you don't masturbate, if you don't have sex for 28 days, you maintain your sexual reproduction semen within cerebral spinal fluid stays within you, and it adds life years to your life. That thing that gives life, it wasted, it's taking life away from you. Save it. That's called supplementation. Sublimation of your sexual desires. That's what the monks practice. That's what the nuns practice. They hold their desire. It makes you more spiritually enlightened. So they say. I understand it, practice it, know it well. But the element at this center is now, we went from earth, now we at water. Now, with me and my exes, if I'm water and they earth, we get together, we're going to make mud. So it don't match. They separate. Moving on. But that concept. Water, which is attributes of this element, are coolness, attachment, and flowing outward. I mean, your character, your personality is of that. And the predominant, here you go. Now, this is where you might want to pay attention. Just like the horoscope in a little different manner, but this is pretty much on point, just like that. Watch this. They knew what they was talking about. Trust me, that's what freaks me out. The predominant psychic, meaning the thought process, activity here is what? Reproduction, sexuality. Propensity to what? To disregard other worldly activities. Why? Because in order to pursue your sexual satisfactions, you're going to do just that in pursuit of that. You know them kind of, you call them cockhounds. Okay, they're always looking for the next girl to get with, and you're craving for what? That sexual fulfillment, which comes from that temporarily sexual fulfillment. As soon as you get what you want, as soon as you release and have an orgasm, you on to the next one. And your sensual pleasures, all they want to do is, and guess what? You're never satisfied. Why? As soon as you get satisfied, you want to do it again. You want more. See? It'll never be satisfied. This center would translate to the Freudian, as the Sigmund Freud, psychiatrist, his idea of what? The main motivator of human mind. Some people live for the pleasure, sexual pleasures. For maniacs, whatever you want to call them, pervert, whatever, but they driven to what? Have pleasures of the flesh. Moving on. Excuse me. And at that level, the primary need of this state is creativity. To them, that's creating, okay? And every human being has the need to create. When you're doing with the opposite sex, you're going to procreate. You're doing it by yourself, you're just doing your thing. But this is the very essence of existence. That's how we got here. And it is why every atom in the universe is what? Constantly moving, vibrating, and changing into something else. Thus, if there is a vision of higher creativity, a human being can produce wondrous works. Once he get control of his lower nature, he can focus on something other than that. That's what they're telling you, okay? And they would do wondrous works of what? Literature, writing, and other art forms, or they can create great institutions for humanity. Anything other than just the sexual perversions. If there is only a limited understanding of your creativity, nature will force a human being to become entangled in domestic situations wherein what? They will feel the need, right there, they will feel the need to create what? Offspring. Elijah Muhammad, he was doing them girls, I got to procreate to keep my legacy. That's ego. Okay, self-pleasures. It ain't got to do with your offspring or creating nothing. Or somehow, watch this, or somehow they will create negative situations for themselves in other ways. Anytime you're trying to satisfy your perverted pleasures, you're going to create a whole bunch of different situations and dynamics to suit your needs. Call that perversion, manipulation, or whatever. Some people call it rape or slavery. When you hold them against their will or dope them up. Moving on. The wisdom teachings point what? That the way toward your higher creativity in the mass culture of television and materialism, they emphasize sensual pleasure and wealth, money and booty shaking. I'm tired of the both of them. Get out, my. Everybody wants to have that little pill so they can what? Have sexual for long pleasure. Come on, man. Okay, that's y'all think I ain't got to involve myself in that. Again, I see it, I understand it. I don't partake in it. Moving on. But the struggle to acquire these things leads to a human to what? To a multitudinous of situations, bad, or adversities, bad, and stress of their own human existence. They causing their own problem. We call those fetters, and they never will find what true happiness, and they always wonder why, or inner peace. Again, wonder why. For more of your spiritual path of sexual sublimation. I got a little more information for you about that. We're going to go to the next level. I got 2 more pages, so this is a little lengthy one here. This is one of the longer ones. But these are the things to tell you about yourself. Just listen. And let's talk about your desires. They include the ability to procreation. You want to all infatuation. If you see something you like it because it looks good. And you also have family relationships and your sensuality. You're constantly involving yourself with things, people, and objects for your own pleasures. That's not a good state of mind. Now, let's talk about your possible psychic dysfunctions. This is the best part. Frustration, disillusionment at what? At the discovery that now your sexual feelings cannot always be pursued or satisfied. You're pissed. Okay, simple as that. And also what? That when pursued, they are never totally quenched. You notice that? That pretty girl, that one you just had to have, when you finally do it, you go flip, dip to get to her, then you realize, I want the next one. Never satisfied. My dude, when he saw the one he liked, he went after it, he got it, and he still got it. That I respect. Now, if you want it and you get it, you should keep it. Moving on. That's important. But if these feelings are properly coped with, you, the individual, will be able to at least accept the realities of you can't fulfill all your sexual pleasures and pursue those activities in an unbalanced manner. You grow up, you get better. Now, with this knowledge for your sexual fulfillment, you will be a better individual because everything won't be, your agenda ain't to get between their legs and get them in bed. Most men can't have a relationship, a friendship with a female if they're not having sex. That's crazy. But that's what it is. And you got some females the same way. So I don't never play one side. No, I use both sides of my thought process. And this process is what you call what? Known as sublimation. Knowing when, knowing how much, that's control. Sublimation, reframing from going overboard. Now, if you the individual, if you're stuck here, then there will be a constant preoccupation with what? Your sexual matters, along with what? Your feelings of guilt due to what? The repudiation of society who looks and frowns on people who run around just having sexual encounters with, here, there, and recklessly doing that nonsense. That's why. It ain't a good look. So, if that's you, then take a look at yourself. Everybody see it. Don't you? Moving on. Now, in India, they had an animal symbol for this center also. Now, this animal was called the Makara. That's a creature of the mythical. He's a mythical crocodile. And that type of animal, it represents the Ganges, the river in India, and all of its energy. Remember, the crocodile, we got Sabet, okay? His mother was Neth. But these all concepts, and crocodile meant power, immense power, strong, brute force, okay? And it's the control and the main power of what? Your sexual energy. That's how strong your sexual energy is. It's like the mystical animal that just got to get what he got to get, so to speak. Goliath, same thing. You got to conquer him. You got to know when to say no to your lower nature. That's all. Some of us have a problem with that. Moving on, that's why you got to practice and learn. But now the way to awaken that energy center is what? Learn to concentrate on it while what? While mentally or vocally, again, we back to the meditation, chanting the sound of this center, which the sound is also Om, with the long A pronounced, okay? This is what it looks like. We're at the second level now, you see? Coming up higher and higher. We're at number 2 now. There's more to being that second level of consciousness that goes into it. The souls of Haru, your soul Haru, that's the sun, are the self-same nature. Since, watch this, they came from what? The same place where who? The Creator modeled them, nor male nor female. Here's the part you need to understand. Are they? Why? Sex is a thing of bodies, physical, not spirit or souls. Break it down a little better for you. Hope you get understanding. Your sexual feelings and your sexual arousal come about through your ignorance of what? Your higher reality. Again, you're thinking lower level. Pleasures of the flesh, that's low level. Okay? Your soul has no sex. I told you, everybody get to having 72 virgins. No, that ain't happening. Whoever told you that lie, I can tell you right there, he lying. Why? Right here. Soul has no sex. Soul, the spirit, ain't male or female. Body is. The physical part is. Understand it? And that don't go. The body stays here. The spirit goes to heaven. When it is identified with matter, meaning your ego self, with time and space, physical nature, I, me, it succumbs to feelings of what? Individuality. I, me, the ego, and your ego identification. They call it the id now. Carl Jung said it's the id. Okay, whatever. But it's still the same thing. Okay, what you call it? Make a difference. But you identify with it. These feelings delude what? The soul, trick the soul into what? Into believing that it is a physical, mortal being instead of what it truly is, a subtle, immortal, and transcendental being. The spirit is transcendental. It can't be harnessed. Once the physical body no longer there, it has to go. It can't stay. It moves on. That's the spirit. And in reality, what? The sexual energy is trying to push the mind toward your higher experiences of your transcendental consciousness. However, because and due to your ignorance of your higher purpose and the lack of self-knowledge and proper guidance, obviously your parents didn't do a good job of preparing you. So your human being, you will fall prey to what? The philosophy of modern culture, which what? Pushes people to become more sexual, more skin and butt cheeks. And at one time, the butt was private. Not no more. But it's pushing your society saying it's okay that your butt cheeks hang out. Thong panties were all over the place. Okay, get past that. But when people become more sexual, more greedy, okay, more hungry for money, they will do some things, etc. And what happens? And these movements leading a human being away from what? The inner discovery. If you out there on the pole and shaking your booty, your money maker, you ain't self-discovering you trying to make that money. And when people live in this state of ignorance, and we got so much of it, I don't go to the bars. I don't drink. First of all, I don't drink. When I was coming up, we didn't have girls at the bars. We had alcohol at the bars. Now they got women stripping and walking up and down the bars and people throwing money at them. Not something I would do, but I ain't mad at it. I just don't do it. Again, ain't gonna do with me. And that done got way out of control. They settle for the ideas of the mass culture and what they do not and they will not realize that they have a whole lot more greater potential that they can possibly understand. In this state of ignorance, they are willingly become involved in what? Sexual relationships, selling their body for a few dollars and turning tricks on that nonsense and mistaking these for what? Love. And they think they are what? Doing well if they can acquire possessions, money, car, like their friends. They doing it. I would do it again. If they all jump up the damn bridge, you gonna jump too? The prospect of life centers around gaining material wealth is the way the society is situated right now, and engaging in situations which will only bring sensual pleasures. If you're only living for that orgasm, you're only living for just, that's not going to get you far. However, when the ramifications of that lifestyle of these are in form of what? Know what it ends up in? Pain, sorrow, and it's all due to your misunderstandings and your disappointments from what? Loved ones or other relations comes their feel. They feel the pain of what? Life. And again, they fell prey to what? The delusions that the mass culture presents them. It's okay to go. No, it's not. No, you don't have to. But no, you don't. That lifestyle is for those who choose it. It don't twist your arm. It don't hold a gun to your head. But the sages and the saints from time of immemorial, man, we've been around a long time. I say we, because I'm considering myself one, have admonished what? Those who have been wise enough to listen that the sensual pleasures are like chains that will bond a person to what? This limited existence as a human being and keep you earthbound. You cannot ascend. Chains are heavy. You want wings. Red Bull give you wings. However, they also what? Show by their own experiences. Ding, 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 right there. I can talk till I get blue in the face, but your own experience is the best teacher you can ever have. And if you pay attention to it, you learn a lot from it. That when supplemented, what? That lifestyle, it can be the most powerful means of your spiritual realization. Why? Controlling one's lower nature, mastering one's emotions, and controlling one's desires is the best thing that can happen to a human being. Why? This is why they enjoined what? Practice of celibacy. Refraining, abstaining from having sex. You can't tell a young person that today. When you practice celibacy, aka sex sublimation, to what? To assist the process of spiritual evolution, aka spiritual enlightenment. We have monasteries for people who want to do just that, become spiritually enlightened, and sex is off the table. What? They don't need that. They know that. And wrapping it up, again, taking it home. And when you behold these things shall be performed by one who is what? Clean, clear of conscience, and is ceremonially pure. A man who hath eaten neither meat nor fish, listen, and who have not had sexual intercourse with women, applies to the females also. Y'all can't have eaten or had initiation, have sexual before your initiation into what? Having intercourse, it applies to female initiates, not having intercourse with men as well. It go both ways. Women are none, men are monks. That means they abstaining from having sex. We know where that goes. Moving on, I ain't gotta talk about that. And that's an ancient ancient Egyptian concept coming from the book of Coming Forth by Day, chapter 137, line 8. Sexual energy can be used as a vehicle which can carry the mind to transcendental levels of consciousness. That's what it's all about. It's all mental. Less like a rocket carries the astronauts into space. Otherwise, your mind remains on the beastly lower level, is only interested in hanging out with the meager and the fleeting earthly pleasures, bodily pleasures, and even more frequent adversities of ordinary life will come at them on a regular basis because that choice to just do nothing. And you will use the energy as your vehicle to transport yourself back to what? The original primordial state of consciousness, which is that vast and all-encompassing, aka knowledge of self. And through daily meditation, the beginnings meditations for the center is after chanting the sounds, going through the motions, and you do not concern yourself, you're seen to be your wrong feeling. Excuse me. Let me go back. What was that? This is the next level. By gentle search for those feelings within one's action. Know why you did, the thoughts and the feelings. I just gave that lesson about the three things. The thought, the feeling leads to action. But when you do it, actions, thoughts, and feelings, it's not the right way. And in the past or the present, where sexual feelings emerge, do not be concerned if they seem to be wrong feelings. The important idea here is to allow them to surface so that now they may be understood and dealt with accordingly. Try not to allow them to make you feel erotic. I mean, you have to act on it. You just have to do it. Try to be detached. Separate yourself and looking at them as if what is a set of clothes. Do you feel like wearing it today? Or contemplating on wearing. Do I want to do this or do I not want to do this? Is this going to look good or is it not? These are self-examinations of these feelings, and you try to understand why you have them. That's self-therapy, psychology, working on your own self, not asking outside information within yourself. And you realize that you have these feelings. Why? Because you are in touch of your fulfillment of objects, but there has never been a complete fulfillment in what? The world of objects, of people in the world, or things in the world. They don't bring you true happiness. They satisfy you for the moment. Momentary satisfaction never lasts. And now, see if there is a place where you can take those feelings. A quiet place, which is free from judgment, a place where there is unconditional acceptance of oneness. Offer these feelings to that place as an offering of at the altar of yourself. Give them to your higher self. Problems concerning yourself, give it to God while asking for what? Communion through what? Meditation daily. Now in complete silence. No words. You feel the warmth which comes over your entire being, the gentle flow of peace and contentment. We call it the liquor of Maya. What's this? Y'all call it the blood of Jesus, or don't make a difference what you call it, but everybody got a word for it, but this is what it is. As the conflicts and the discordant feelings at this level are what? Resolving themselves. You're taking care of yourself by internal visualization, visualizing them as what? The earth element, and dissolving into your next energy center, because you're starting to raise your level now to what? The fire element. That's the next one. I'm wrapping up with your second visualization becomes conscious of your sexual energy. You're starting to put them in perspective and your desires at this level, at this center. See them as a flowing river. Visualize them as what? The Nile River flowing on, and become what? One with the energy. Go with the flow. Do not fight it. Flow on with the river as what? It travels, and like all rivers do, toward what? They lead toward the ocean, your ocean of consciousness. And all rivers, what? They flow to the ocean and they merge with it. That's the goal of your spirit. And see yourself as water, fluid, traveling up the river of your spine toward what? That is Kundalini, toward the endless ocean of primordial energy, which is at the crown of the head. This primordial ocean is the same primordial ocean of creation. If it's the same energy that surges when there is sexual arousal, it's all the same thing. You got to learn to control it, master it. You're working on it. That's the second level. We getting there. I'll be right back with level number 3. We getting up that, rising up the conscious level of knowing thyself. When I get done, you should be fully aware of who you are. That's my intent. That's the lesson. And in closing, may you all live to be 100 right thinkers and me 100 minus a day. So I never know that my right thinkers have passed away.